Hello. I'm currently procrastinating on studying for physics, which I have a test for tomorrow, and I don't want to study for it. Well, I was studying, but then I stopped because I didn't feel like staring at a bunch of stupid kinematics problems over and over again. So I'm just like, I'm back here. I'm back at the recording grind, I guess, for this little side hobby that I decided to do of recording myself play video games. But it's Terraria time now, and I guess I'll just give a first off a chronological order of events of what I've done with my Terraria world in the past couple of days since my last upload. First, I decided to go to the underground snow because I wanted to for one, I wanted to get a magic mirror because I've just been lacking a magic mirror. The underground hasn't been very lucky to me, and I just have not gotten a magic mirror, and I feel like I'm this far into the playthrough and I still don't have a magic mirror, and I'm having to remember to get my recall potion, so it's kind of stupid. So I'm like, I know that the underground snow has ice mirrors, so I'm just gonna go try to find that, and I did. That's what I wanted. Stupid magic mirror, thank god. And after I figured out all that stuff out, I was just like, you know what, I remember from last time when I was at the Eye of Cthulhu, I'm like, I could make a better pickaxe if I just had tissue samples. So I'm like, I'm just gonna go and try to beat the Brain of Cthulhu. I was like, yeah, well, let's just expedite that process. So I went to the Crimson, went to that, in my money back episode, actually, I went to the same area, and I made an arena. And I started smashing some orbs, got the Undertaker, and then of course, before I got to the next orb, a goblin invasion already came, and that started happening. I can't get out. Did you break down my door? Yeah, my bow is the best shot I got because it pierces through all of them. I got a harpoon. But after dealing with the goblins, and my most notable weapon of inquiry from that invasion was a freaking harpoon, I decided, okay, well, I'm gonna actually go fight the Eye of Cthulhu now. So I just smashed enough orbs till he spawned. And the Brain of Cthulhu is kind of a weird fight, because I would like to give some pre-context, as I've actually never fought the Brain of Cthulhu before, even though I've played Terraria for 7, 8, 10 years by this point. It's because I've always had corruption. I think I mentioned that in the previous video. I always have corruption. I never really had. The Crimson is actually kind of new to me, oddly enough. So I've never directly fought the Brain of Cthulhu before, and I think the strat, since I had the tendon bow with jester arrows, I could just pierce through all the little creepers in the first phase, and that first phase wasn't hard. I never had struggled with the first phase at all. And then obviously the second phase is more of just a frantic oh crap, which one is you, which one is correct, let me check which one. Honestly, the best strat in terms of, I think, because they fixed the strat with you just using the mini-map, but what you should do, in my opinion, is to just keep on going around until you see which one has the health bar, and then shoot at that one, and then that'll make it better. And also, not to mention, if you so I had the Shield of Cthulhu by this point, if you dash in the right way, then all of the brains will re-flash themselves. I don't really know how to describe it. Just change their orientation in a way that they're not completely honing in on you, and they almost reverse spots. So that was the way I've ended up beating the Brain of Cthulhu, but it actually took me technically 3 times, because the first time I just didn't manage to do the 4-phase part correctly. The second time I got kind of ambushed because the orb that I used to summon it was really deep down in some big cavern somewhere, and then I wouldn't manage to get back up in time, and I kind of got pwned. Oh my god. Well, that was a failure. But the third time, I was okay, I'm just gonna use a summon so that doesn't happen to me again. And I just made whatever the summon is for the Brain of Cthulhu, and I did that. So, and I summoned it that way. And I also drank an Iron Skin potion right before, and I beat it not easily, but pretty well. Yes. Woo. But with that now out of the way, and I was okay, I have a bunch of stuff from all the drops from the Goblin Invasion, and also all the equipment from the Brain of Cthulhu that I would have to figure out what to do with. I was getting kind of stressed because oh, my chest organization system isn't enough, and also just in general I'm getting more and more NPCs and I want to expand. And in general I'm okay, the pylon system's new to me. I'm you know what, I'm gonna try it. So I decided to build a desert abode out in the desert near my underground desert mine. So I have 2 main mines. I have the mine to my main underground, and I decided to expand a location to have a mine that connects to my underground desert mine. And with that center, I decided to make it out of like glass and stone. I don't know why. I just tried to use the materials available to me, so I just make something that looks kind of quaint, I guess. And I had like 4 NPC rooms total. They are all like kind of connect. I like to make the NPCs able to like walk out instead of just being trapped in a room. So like I have glass stairs connecting to everything, so they could walk out if they wanted to. And also like my underground desert mine shaft actually has a wall behind it now instead of just being a big gaping hole in the ground. So it's like I've decided to put some infrastructure there in that regard. And eventually I thought the pylon was only sold by the merchant because that's who I bought the forest pylon from, but it actually can be sold by anyone as long as they're like happy in that area. And I just did some wiki searching, and the arms dealer likes to be in the desert, so I moved him in the desert, moved some other people who don't care to be in the desert because the desert's not exactly a favorable location, or at least with the NPCs I have currently. And he eventually sold me the desert pylon, and I spawned it in. I'm like, yo, I have a pylon network now. I have not just a network of a big bridge in the sky, I also have a network of could be a little faster. Eventually I do think I'll do like the thing with making like a jungle and snow pylon just to extend myself across the world, and then maybe have like an underground one too. I don't think I'm gonna do much more past that. I think you can have pylons in like every possible low like biome besides the corruption and crimson, so it's if you wanted to, you can have like a big network across the world. But I like have like decently sized towns, so I decided against that. Currently my only highway between the forest and desert pylons is that bridge in the sky that I used for the king slime fight. That's now doubling as a highway, but I guess it'll expand.